A very good evening to everyone present here. It is truly a matter of immense pride and joy for me to welcome you all to this very insightful 113th online interactive session, which is also the 87th Leadership Development Program by Corporate Mentor. I extend my heartfelt greetings to our esteemed honorable guest speaker for the day, Mr. Kapil Arya sir, Honorable Chairman Professor BP Singh sir, in absentia, Honorable Senior Professor Ajay Kumar Singh sir, Honorable Director of the College Professor Dr. Mahesh Sharma sir, respected Registrar Dr. R.S. Singh sir, respected faculty members and my dear fellow students. I, Tanvi, a proud student of BBA Batch 2024-28 at DSPSR, feel deeply honored to stand before you today. DSPSR has always been committed to academic excellence, industry integration, and holistic student development. And today's session is another wonderful step in this direction. To commence this session on an auspicious note, let us now take part in the symbolic ritual of lighting the virtual lamp. This act represents the removal of darkness and the ushering in of wisdom and enlightenment. May this flame of knowledge guide us toward clarity, confidence, and success in the days ahead. Now, I kindly request Arun sir to play the virtual lamp lighting video.
वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा शुभं भवतु कल्याणम् आरोग्यं सुखसम्पदा शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते।
It is my great honor to welcome our distinguished speaker for today, Mr. Kapil Arya sir, former risk manager at top firms like Ernst and Young and Grant Thornton International, and currently an aspiring trainer with the art of living. With over a decade of professional experience as a risk manager, he has mastered the art of analysis management and corporate leadership at top global firms. His true calling, however, lies in empowering individuals through breathwork and life skills as part of the Art of Living Foundation. Having impacted more than 10,000 people across India, from IAS officers and corporate professionals to educators, students, and even jail inmates, he has been a guiding light in helping people manage stress and enhance their overall well being. Sir is also a passionate stock market investor, deeply interested in studying the fluctuations of both the market and the mind. Sir, your journey from corporate risk management to life transformation coaching is truly inspiring, and we are delighted to learn from your wisdom today. On behalf of DSPSR, I warmly welcome you, Mr. Kapil Arya sir, and we look forward to gaining valuable insights from your experience. We are equally privileged to have as our moderator today, Ms. Priyanshi, a bright and dedicated BCom honor student from batch 2023-26 at DSPSR. She has a strong academic foundation in finance, accounting, and business management, and is known for her disciplined teamwork and analytical abilities. With skills in leadership, communication, financial literacy, and problem solving, she is determined to build a successful career while contributing positively to every platform she is part of. On behalf of DSPSR, I warmly welcome you, Ms. Priyanshi, and we are delighted to have you moderate today's interactive session.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome, Ms. Tanvi. It's our privilege to welcome you, Mr. Kapil Arya, sir, to the 113th online interactive session. We are truly honored to have you with us today. I'm certain that your insights will make this session not only highly engaging for the students, but also enriching for everyone present here. To make the session more interactive and beneficial for our students, I would now like to ask you, sir, some questions focused on student development and career growth opportunities. Shall I, sir?
Sure. And thank you so much for the wonderful introduction.
Okay, sir. So my first question is, you have spent over a decade as a risk manager at top firms like Ernst and Young and Grant Thornton International. What inspired you to transition from corporate risk management to becoming a life coach with the art of living?
Uh, Very nice question. So I was doing well in my risk management profile, but there was a calling which was very different, which I wanted to do from my school days only. I wanted to reach out to people and make them, do something good for them. So when I attended the Art of Living program, so let me first tell you, this was I did not want to do the Art of Living program because initially when my friend told me about this Art of Living program, I thought, अरे ये तो 60 साल की उम्र में करेंगे. This we will do it at the age of 60. Why do I require when I am young? But he was my senior, so therefore I just heard him, and I thought, चलो ये बोल रहा है तो I'll just sit for 5 minutes and then come back very fast, because I don't like such sessions. But I sincerely realized, you know, that there is a science of happiness and resilience that inspired me to move from managing financial risks of the people to helping people manage their life risks. And I'm truly honored, to be on this beautiful journey, wherein I am part of the stock market also. Plus, I'm able to reach out to people to best of my capabilities.
Okay, sir. And my second question is, how did your corporate background help shape your approach as a coach and trainer in the art of living?
Hmm. So, for me, corporate life taught me discipline, clarity, and how to deal with those with the high pressure situations. The experience really helped me to connect with the with professionals because I have experienced stress myself, so I know how it happens, what happens there. And because of this reason, because of this aspect in my life, I have been lucky enough to get to be able to uh, teach the Art of Living corporate program in multiple companies. So it is part of their soft skills workshop, you know, and that really helps, when you have seen that, when you have experienced what is tea, then only you can tell how good it is.
Okay, sir. Got it. And my third question is, risk management requires analytical skills while coaching requires empathy and connection. How do you balance these two aspects in your career journey?
Tough question, yeah. Uh, in fact, I see it as two sides of the same coin. Analysis helped helps me to structure my workshops, to structure my mindset logically, and empathy helps me to reach out to more and more people. So together, when the mind and the heart is together, then you can make changes in the outer environment. So together, uh, when these two aspects come together, they make the session both practical and personal for the participants. And this is a beautiful amalgamation because generally people think that spirituality is just about following your heart, but it is not that. It is walking that path wherein you are able to balance both the things. You don't have to uh, ignore anything or leave anything, but you can still continue to uh, be wherever you are, handling both the material side and the spiritual side, I feel.
Okay, sir, that was insightful. And my next question is, what was the turning point in your life that made you decide to pursue breath work and life skills training full time?
Okay. For me, there is a story which is connected to this question, which I would like to share. So, so I was an average student in my school times up till my 10th standard. Yeah. And I was actually trying to explore what I really want from life. What do I really want to do? So when I was in my 10th grade, my mother took me to an orphanage, and I was pretty young at that point of time, but uh, that feeling sustained for a long time. When I went to that place, it really touched me. And when I was serving them biscuits or fruity, whatever it was, I remember, my heart and my mind said at that point of time, I want to do this in my life. I want to continue to do something which is related to this. So at that point, I thought, let me just get over with this education, my school and my MBA and my everything. Then I'll open my own NGO. But before that could happen, I got this opportunity to attend the Art of Living workshop, and that really changed my perspective about life. And it is the power, it is the mindset to give back to the world that really inspires me to do what I'm doing. And I feel absolutely privileged to do this. But on this note, I would also like to say that uh, like if there is a puja, or if there is a religious activity, you know uh, there are so many things which are required, and those things won't come without the money aspect. So I feel money is super important also in that sense. So I feel when you balance the mind, you can take care of both the worlds, and that really inspired me.
Okay, sir, got it. And my next question is, that is my fifth question. You have worked with diverse diverse groups such as IAS officers, students, corporate professionals, educators, and even jail inmates. How do you adopt your teaching style for such varied audiences?
So for students, I bring games and fun to the table, and for corporates, it's about productivity and focus. For IS officers, I am able to connect with their responsibility. For inmates, it's about giving hope, that you can come out of that place, but the core remains the same. That is, the power of caring is something which is important, which is very important when it comes to training, because I teach a lot of teenagers also. So there is one category which is missing. I teach school students also, and I've also taught DU professors also. And once you are connected to your inner self, then you can connect to anybody for that matter. Yeah. So that is what really helps me to connect with people.
Okay, sir. And my next question is, sir, could you share a memorable experience while training IAS officers or other senior professionals that left a lasting impact on you?
Sure. So I think this is 2 years back when I was taking a program of a IS officer. So he was a very senior IS officer who was basically taking care. I mean, his team was totally was taking care of 5,000 CR Indian budget basically. So, when I was taking this program, I was feeling that privilege, that this person is such an important person. But some and uh, as the program was, continuing, then I happened to realize more thing about that person. And at the end of the program, he said something which really impacted my life, and that was, so this was an IS officer whose team was managing almost 5,000 crore Indian budget. Yeah. And then he mentioned, sir, you should really take this program for my wife who's taking depression antidepressants. And he also mentioned additionally one more thing. He said, sir, can you also take this workshop for my child who is right now an IITN but is taking pills of anxiety. He's not able to manage his mind. So I was just thinking, if people at the top have such a atmosphere around them, it is so difficult to manage things for the country, So I feel if you can take care of the mind, you can take care of the whole world. And uh, and this really shook me from within, and it inspired me to continue this path of service, uh, which is simply amazing. Yeah. So this is something which really moved me at that point of time. So people at that level are also require that kind of knowledge. You know, if you have everything but you don't have the mental health, then there's no point of having anything else also. It's just like when you're playing this game. How many of you have played that game of lemon and the spoon? I'm sure school may we would have played that in school. So I feel, it's life is like a game wherein you're having that spoon in your mouth, but if you don't have the lemon on the spoon, then you can't win the race. So I feel mental health and physical health is super important for you to be really successful in life. Yeah.
Okay, so
Hello,
got it.
Priyanshi, hold on. I have a questions. Hello, am I audible, sir?
Sure. Yes, yes, Ishita.
Yeah, my question is same related to Priyanshi, but little bit different that I am expecting the answer. Sir, you have taught over thousand of people across radically different demographics, from IS officers to jail inmates. So, sir, I just want to know what the universal stress pattern have you observed among all of them?
Uh, you know, stress is a very simple word. Basically, it means too much to do, too little energy, and too little time to do it. So,
Yeah.
stress is simply this aspect when you don't have the time, when you don't have the energy, but you still have to do your task. So that is something which I think it's called stress. Yeah. Mm.
Okay, sir. Now go ahead, Priyanshi.
Okay, sir. My next question is, how do you measure the success of your programs in terms of impact on people's life?
So I check their smiles at the end of the program. If they are smiling at the end of the program, and another aspect is if they continue to maintain that mental space, then it really helps me to uh, measure that, oh, this person has at least benefited from the program, because it is not just I mean mental health. Uh, Taking care of of mental health is not a weekend activity. It's a holistic activity which has to be taken care of every single second. You know, so if that person is able to maintain that state of mind, then I feel, that person has really improved. So for me also, you know, uh, most of the people think outside the spiritual world that, all the people who are spiritual don't get angry. But it is not the case. I also get angry. Let me just acknowledge it. But for me, I used to get very angry before I did the soft skills workshop. But so there were times when I used to get angry at few things and I would continue to be angry for almost 3 months. But you know, when I took care of the mind, then I realized that, I was getting angry, but it was taking me 1 day or 1 hour to for me to get into that stabilized space. So that that time in that negative emotion has really reduced. So that is the measure which I keep for the programs which I take.
Okay, sir, that was insightful. And my ninth question is, in today's fast-paced world, stress is one of the biggest challenges. What are the simple yet powerful breathwork techniques you recommended for stress relief?
I think music is one amazing thing. If if there are if you're having negative emotions, then listen to music. And once the emotions are settled, then the mind also settling. So there, I feel meditation really works when it comes to the level of the mind. For the for the level of emotions, I feel music is something which is very good. And taking couple of minutes, not the whole day, not 1 hour, just 10, 20 minutes for your own selves. You know, it's like dating with yourself. If you can sit with yourself, that is the best thing. You know, uh, so this is something uh, which really helps people to uh, take care of the mind.
Okay, sir, that was really insightful. And my next question is, how important do you think emotional intelligence how how important do you think emotional intelligence is in today's professional and personal life?
Mhm. I think it is super important because there are so many emotions which are coming from every aspect in your office or your corporate world. So one needs to be really, really skillful how the person manages those emotions which are coming and which are which surround you totally. So once you're connected to that inner self, then you can manage your environment. So I say, weak people are those which are impacted by the environment, but strong people are those, who impact the environment. So once you become emotionally stable, and I also feel there is another intelligence which is super required, which is, I think, intuitive abilities. Because I've been teaching many leaders, corporate leaders. One thing which I've realized is that, they trust their gut, that this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And certain decisions are taken on intuition, on the basis of intuition. So that aspect is something which also needs to be managed. And this is where, meditation really works. It really works on the intuitive level. Like if you notice, this has happened with our moms and dads every time, like our mom would always get to know what is going on in the child's mind. Isn't it true? It is the power of intuition. Once you get that intuitive ability, then you can do so much more.
Okay, sir, got it with your answer. And my next question is, what role does mindfulness play in leadership and decision making, especially in high pressure environments?
I think the leader has to be really mindful of whatever is going on around him. And he needs to be sensitive. He needs to be aware what is happening with the team. Uh, and if there is anything which is causing the team to not operation of, I mean, work properly, that has to be taken care of. So that can happen if the mind is clear. So a mindful leader does not react. I think first thing is he responds. And in high pressure situations, the pause of awareness makes all the difference. So there are companies where I train. Um, there they have this beautiful aspect of meals and meditation. So before they sit for lunch, they all meditate together. And once the meditation is done, they all eat together. And it forms such a strong connection between all the team members. So that is something a leader should aim at.
Okay, sir. And my next question is many young students today struggle with anxiety and uncertainty about their future. What advice would you give them to manage stress effectively?
I think breathing is something which is a very powerful tool. Uh, so if you notice, when we are angry, the breath is is warm, isn't it? It's a little hot, and if you see the momentum of the breath, it is very fast. But when we are happy, or when we are in love, or when we are with our old friend, our breath is very smooth. Huh? So what happens right now is the outside environment, impacts the emotions. Those emotions impacts the breath. But intelligence is what? If you can take care of the breath, and emotions can be taken care of. And once the emotions are stabilized, then you can uh, take care of the outside situation perfectly. Like, let me just tell you, right now uh, I have 101 fever, but it won't feel like that I aisa hai. But when you have that inner strength, then you can mend your ways. You can be flexible and yet be so energetic.
Okay, sir. Got it with your answer. And my next question is you have impacted more than 10,000 individuals through your training. What would you believe is the key to creating such deep connections with your participants?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, sir. So, my question is you have impacted more than 10,000 individuals through your training.
Hmm.
What do you believe is the key to creating such deep connections with your participants?
I think ability to belong to people around you is something which is the central aspect of what I do. And if you notice, if I talk about ancient India, the villages were very open to everyone around who would come to that place. I'm sure you must have heard about stories wherein, and even if you go to a village today also, they would just embrace you. If you're a guest there in that village, they'll just embrace you like your like personal guest. Yeah. Arya, आप आए हो. It has been so good that you're here. Even if you don't have any connection with them, but still they will admire you. They'll take care of you. They'll embrace you. Yes, I feel uh, we need to get back to our roots, and our roots of the Indian tradition is belongingness, which was a part of our culture. And thankfully, it is, because there are few villages wherein they still follow the rituals, they still follow the culture of belongingness. But in like, but in current times, you notice that this has gone down. In fact, I was this culture of belongingness is there with kids totally. So this thing happened couple of days back. So me and my wife, we were sitting in a restaurant, we were having our pizza. So on this backside, so there were back to back sofas. So on my back there was this small child, and he was continuously peeping at our pizza, you know, and he did not feel that shame also. He was just 3 years, I think 4 years. Uh, he was continuously looking, and after a few seconds, that guy moved on to a different table altogether, and he went to that table, and he liked one dish and told that uncle, can I have this dish? Kids have that sense of belongingness. So I take intuition programs in multiple schools also. So I feel that we are all born with this sense of belongingness, but I don't know what happens. Stress happens that this belongingness expires. But I still hope there is hope that we can revive the whole system of belongingness.
Okay, sir, got it with your answer. And my next question is, could you explain how breathwork practices can influence not only mental but also physical health?
Okay. So there are multiple studies which have been done in Harvard, Stanford, indicating the stress goes down, BP stabilizes, immunity improves, sleep really improves. Because I think as a youngster, I come across many people who go through the same thing. Sleep issue is one thing which really bothers. Second is the relationship aspect. When you can take care of the physical and the mental health, you can take care of all the relationships which are there with you. I'm not specifically pointing out at one aspect of it, but the full aspect, the broader aspect of a relationship, of how to deal with people. And uh, so you can check it out. There are multiple research papers on this aspect of how breathwork has really impacted. But for me to share few of the things, I mean, they say if you are able to breathe properly, then 90% of your toxins go through the breath. And generally, what happens as a human being as we grow up, our stress level increases and the lung capacity reduces, and it reduces to 40%. Have you seen a child who breathes properly? उसका पूरा पेट ऊपर जाता है when he breathes in, and as he's breathing out, the tummy will come down. At that point of time, when we were a child, the lung capacity was almost close to 90%. But when you do these breath work, then your immunity improves. And this was quite visible when COVID struck us. All the people who did their breath work nicely, they were the few ones who were taken care of.
Okay,
Yes.
sir. And my next question is, how do you think ancient practices like yoga and pranayam are relevant in today's modern lifestyle?
Hmm. If you want to be successful, if you want to get good grades, if you want to get good job, if you want to manage your team well, then you need to do all these practices. I just wished, there would have been a pill which you will just swallow and you're able to manage your emotions. But unfortunately, we don't have that pill. We have to go through it. So I think if that pill is not available, it's always good to take care of your mind through the breath work and the and pranayama. So I've traveled to US also. So if you travel to US, you'll find a yoga studio in every corner. I'll share this story. So I was traveling to Kerala on a flight, wherein I was sitting with this Spanish guy, and we were going to Kerala. So, as I mentioned, there is this sense of belongingness. So I don't shy uh, when it comes to people. So I just had a quick conversation with this Spanish guy, and when I was in conversation with this guy, the Spanish guy, this Spanish guy told me so much about Ayurveda I was simply, shocked, surprisingly shocked. He knew much more than an average Indian, you know. Uh, so the world has embraced Ayurveda, but I think we need to get back to our roots and take care of our culture. I'm sure you must have seen there is this another thing which has been trademarked by Germans. वो पत्तल जो होता है ना, that we use for when people are served, है ना? So that pattal is now, it's a trademark of Germans now, because we did not respect our culture. They have taken our, and haldi. If you talk about haldi, in Starbucks they call the haldi milk as golden milk. If you go to Starbucks, they'll charge you 300 rupees for that. And if you notice, our mom, our family members have been giving and have known these aspects from so long. We need to really get back to our culture and back. Yeah.
Hello, Priyansi.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let the audience ask the questions as Kapil sir is running with fever, so he can't continue. Sir, would you like to
Okay,
continue?
ma'am.
Kapil
Just
sir,
Sir, unmute yourself.
um, uh, I can be there for the next 5-10 minutes. No problem.
okay, Priyansi, go ahead.
Priyanshi, unmute yourself.
Priyanshi, you are on mute. Priyanshi, you are on mute.
Okay, sir, that's all from my side. And now, if anyone from participants have any questions, can ask.
Uh, any audience, any participants would like to ask questions? Put your questions either on chat box or unmute yourself. Okay, till then, sir, I have a one question.
Kapil, I have also one question before
Okay,
you
sir,
ask.
go ahead.
Do
Okay,
you have
sir.
any regret, Kapil, that you were in a high profile kind of corporate job and now you are full-time art of living teacher? So do you have any regret in life right now?
Yeah, sir, I do have one regret. Um, so that regret is, if I would have uh, worked efficiently, I mean, at that time, I mean, I was doing well, but if I would have spent give my 100% to my corporate job at that point of time. I feel I would have earned a little bit more money for me to invest in the market. That is a little regret, but I'm sure that never ends, because there is always a little thing which is always left. So I I think that maybe you can say 10 lakhs, or that was something which was I would have earned that, it would have been more easier.
So stock market gives you enough return now?
Not these days. I mean, today and this week it has definitely, but uh, now I mean, drawing my money from the stock market. I'm also investing in gold and silver, and I mean, there is a major chunk which is there in the stock market, but now I've also moved on to commodities. I've been a little late in terms of investing in gold and silver, but now I think I've moved. But
So
okay.
what should be the right kind of portfolio for a student who is right now a student and they would start earning after completing their, UG programs, they are likely to be, in job. So how much they should earn, how much they should save, how much they should invest, and things like that based on your own experience. Would you like to give them some recommendations?
Sure. So one thing which I did from day one of my corporate journey, I used to save almost 70% of it. 70% of it, because I knew from day one that, I belong to some other place. I wanted to reach out to people. So I have to quickly get to that target. So before I moved on to this journey of becoming a full-time teacher of the art of living, I had a particular figure in my mind. When I'll have that figure, then only I can go for it. Uh, so for a student, I would say, or a new person, depending on the accommodation and everything. Like I am from Delhi, so I used to go to Gurgaon. So I used to save 70% of my salary at that point of time, and I used to parallelly invest in the stock market, in mutual funds. Initially, I started with mutual funds, and then I mean, these days I've been assisted by my brother also. So we are both in stock market. So helps me to manage my funds well, because I keep traveling. I'm an investor. I'm not a trader, so I don't need to worry so much. So once I invest, then I just forget about it. And I think this is something which is important. If you're investing, invest for long. If you're a trader, 80% of the chances that your money will go away. This is
Sir, I have a question.
yes.
Sir, do you think that for investing in long-term perspective, fundamental analysis or technical analysis is much, much more important? Or what is the more important, comparatively technical or fundamental?
I think both, and depending on I mean, right now there is so much which is happening globally. That is another aspect which really, sometimes bonkers me what is happening into the stock market. Even though there is,
Although, sir, stock market is very, very sensitive. So many factors can affect easily the stock market. I'm also investing in stock market since last year, and I was able to make profit from that particular. But I just want to know, in such a busy schedule, it's very tough to go for to just look for this some kind of particular kind of stock which can give you profit. तो अगर ये मतलब एक शॉर्ट टाइम में देखना हो कि क्या एक एनालिसिस कर सकते हैं, कौन से टूल्स यूज कर सकते हैं ताकि वो प्रॉफिट दे। मतलब जैसे एक अगर आप बैठ जाओ जैसे ट्रेडिंग करने के लिए या डेरिवेटिव में करने के लिए या इंट्राडे ट्रेड करने के लिए, तो इट विल टेक लॉन्ग टाइम टू एनालाइज दैट स्टॉक्स। तो क्या शॉर्ट तरीका हो सकता है कि शॉर्ट स्ट्रैटेजी हो सकता है एक फ्रेशर्स के लिए, एक नेव के लिए जिसको स्टॉक मार्केट के बारे में जानकारी नहीं है, नॉलेज नहीं है। आज के टाइम में क्या होता है कि जो भी र्यूमर्स होते हैं ना कि हाँ ये स्टॉक अगले दिन में या नेक्स्ट 1 मंथ में या 1 साल में बहुत ऊपर जाने वाला है, तो हम लोग बस उसकी तरफ मूव कर जाते हैं। मतलब
uh,
एक पर्टिकुलर एक एक एनालिसिस नहीं कर पाते। तो क्या एक स्ट्रेटेजी क्या होनी चाहिए एक फ्रेशर्स के लिए, एक नेव के लिए?
uh, Majorly, I focus on fundamentals, and for me, most of my investments are in blue chip companies. So these are firms which are, I mean, which hold good market capitalization. So for me, I had to ensure that the risk is minimum and the returns are okay. Because if
So
I
how we can mitigate the risk, sir? The
so
question is that.
for that, I think you have to learn more about fundamental analysis, and sit with people who invest. And for me, what I did, I would just sit with my elder brother, and I would just keep asking, okay, what is this? What is this? So honestly, for me to enter into this space of art of living teaching platform, I sat for almost hundreds of hours with my elder brother, just to learn how the markets work. So for me, I prefer more of the fundamental analysis rather than technical analysis. Uh, but my brother he's on the other side. So it's always good to have that this change, because you get to learn so much from each other. Yeah. So I think one thing is, uh, I can't say for the next 5 years, but from 2018 to 2025, I feel if one was a stock market investor, then and invested for long term, I think earnings would have happened if the companies would. But you have to just be resilient to whatever is happening outside. Yeah.
Okay, sir. And sir, my last question is that you have spent over a decade in corporate risk management. So,
Right.
sir, in your opinion, what is the biggest blind spot in how corporations assess and mitigate risk, especially non-financial, like reputation and leadership instability?
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, I was asking that you have spent a decades in corporate and you were a risk manager.
Yeah.
So, what is the biggest blind spot in how corporations assess and mitigate risk, especially non-financial like reputation and leadership instability?
In fact, my job was very close to your question because our job was to manage conflict. So basically, supposingly, if there is a litigation which has to, I mean, which is filed between A and B, the two parties. So what happens, what happened, I mean, in my risk management profile, what used to happen was, so I was working with EY Grant Thornton. So, supposingly, if A wanted to do litigation on company B, so it would go to EY and ask for help, litigation help. And you know what happens? Then B also comes to EY and asks for help, you know. Uh, from the same middle, I mean, authority, which is EY. So A is also coming for the same thing, B is also coming for the same thing. So there were certain times, so there were a few measures which had to be taken so that there is no conflict of interest. But there were few times, the teams would be same or information would flow incorrectly, or the team. I mean, there were different aspects to it. Sometimes there were these blind spot, but thankfully these corporations like EY and Grant Thornton ensured that there is no conflict of interest. But interestingly, they took money from both the parties, uh, yet they could manage both the parties. They could satisfy both the parties, A and B.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So, I am done. Anyone having questions?
Yeah, Mr. Kapil,
Yes, sir.
I believe that this technical analysis is largely good for, the time to buy for an investor and time to sell. And fundamental analysis is basically to identify which stock is good for long-term investment. So it is important for an investor to know also when to buy and when to sell. Like gold is at its highest right now.
Right.
पीक अभी तक मेरे ख्याल में कभी इतना नहीं था जितना गोल्ड इस समय प्राइस है.
Absolutely.
तो are you still buying that, or you are planning to book some profits on that? What is your take on that?
So I'm planning to buy silver more on dips. I'm waiting for dips to come. So basically I'm investing in staggered amount, little amount, because silver is so high. I don't want to take such a high risk. So I'm investing in small little amounts. So as in when there is a dip, I'll just take a small quantity of silver ETM. That is what I'm doing. I'm not investing now in gold, sir. Now I think whatever quantity which I required, I have taken it in terms of gold. And if there is a price fall, then I might consider. But silver, now my focus is on silver.
Okay. When you would like to book profits on gold, at which price?
Uh, uh, Sir, honestly, I have invested in physical gold because of so much turbulence. I've invested uh, because I believe in astrology a bit. So I have kept certain grams for that situation in case if, and I'm sure gold will definitely not go down. But now on, as the market is going up and down, I am still sitting on some cash. So as in when there is chance for me to buy gold first. Now I'll go for the gold ETF and silver ETF because my first condition was that I'll just buy first. First, let me just stick to physical gold. Then I'll move on to the ETF part of it.
And the young people, those who are investors, they generally don't believe in physical form of gold. How come that you are still into that mode?
So, you're absolutely right, sir. And because honestly, I feel there is so much which is happening in the world, uh, and there can be times of war. So, just as a precaution, I've not bought a very big quantity of my investment, but a small safe investment, which is good enough. So, I've taken that part of uh, gold as physical gold. Rest, I think, so it is my intuition, I feel that there is going to be, I mean, fluctuation in gold. So my sense was just buy little amount of physical gold and then definitely now I'll be shifting to silver ETF and gold ETF if the price comes down. My first preference would be silver now if price dips.
So, what is the portfolio that you recommend to people? How much in gold, how much in silver, how much in stocks, how much in mutual funds? What should be the ideal? How much into what you said about other things like commodities and all that? Also, you mentioned about that. So, what is the ideal portfolio as per your understanding?
So there are different mindsets, sir. There are people who think that Bitcoin will definitely help because this year itself it has grown by 100%. Gold, I think, has grown by 40% types. So I don't touch Bitcoin. I don't know. I am a little because there is no inherent asset. So I'm not investing there. So sir, whatever my portfolio is, it depends on the kind of lifestyle which I have. So, majorly 60% is right now in stocks, and rest 30% is in commodities, or I'm sitting on cash so that if silver dips, then I'll go to commodities. So 60/30.
Okay. So this is about the money part of it. How much portfolio of your time do you invest in earning money? How much for seva and how much for sadhana? How much for satsang? Like that. This is portfolio of an individual. So apart from money we have asked you that one should have a portfolio. Within 24 hours, what should be the portfolio of allocation of time for a person who is in the job or who is an entrepreneur? It may be different for different as a student. What do you recommend to them?
I think one should, sir, it's a very nice question. I think if one can spend 45 minutes of your time with oneself, that is good enough. That can help you uh, to be efficient in the rest of the 23 hours, 15 minutes. This is what I feel. At least that much amount of time we should spend so that we can be much more efficient. Uh, so this is how for me, most of my time goes into all these practices. Either I'm in a college or a school taking an intuition program, uh, or I'm at IS officers community. So uh, being a long-term investor, so I don't see my stocks too often. So I learned this habit when COVID struck. So then I thought whenever I heard good news, no, then only I'll watch market. So I don't do too much unless if there is too much uncertainty about a certain stock, then only I'll change my gear or
Sir,
investment.
do you invest only in delivery or you also do intraday trade or option?
I'm a long-term investor.
Okay, you are a long-term investor.
I
Okay.
don't trade, otherwise I'll get my heartbeat fast. So this is one thing which I've learned, for the kind of life I want to lead, I can't be seeing screen every single moment. Uh, and I think it is good enough. It is just about maintaining your expenses well. And my mentor told me once, uh, that you should have a life which wherein your at least need-based living should be there. Initially, I think all students need to follow it, and all the people in corporate, so that you can earn well, you can save more. Need-based living is something which I practiced uh, from my corporate days, and I still follow it. It's not that I don't have money, but I'm a little, aware of what my money, where my money is going. Mm. So, yeah.
So you have told just now that you are a teacher for intuition course, which is for the age group of 8 to 18. And you also said just now that you take classes for IAS officers and others also. So on the one hand, you are dealing with kids less than 18 years of age. On the other hand, you are dealing with, the best of who's and who's of the country, the civil servants, and maybe corporate trainer. You are also a corporate trainer as well.
Yes.
So that is another aspect of it. So how do you find the differences in the mindset of these people, and what you want to share with us with your insights into these different categories of people whom you deal with?
Uh, sir, it's a very relevant question. So I've learned this from our founder, his name is Shri Ravi Shankar ji, the Art of Living founder. What I've learned is, naturalness is the key. If you're natural, then you can connect with anyone. So I take programs for almost 5-year-old to 80, 85. I've taught such a broad range. And definitely, I have seen that as people age, there are so many impressions which are there, which get fixated. And the earlier a person learns about how to handle his mind, the more efficient he can be. You know, that is something which is AI. It is absolute intelligence. We are all talking about artificial intelligence, but if you learn to sit with your own self, that is the key, and you're able to connect. So there are few things which I always take care when I am in a conversation. Uh, and let me tell you, sir, when I was in my college, in my first year of my college, when two girls would come to just मेरे से बात करने आएगी ना, तो मैं ऐसा था कि मैं बेहोश हो जाता था। मुझे इतना डर लगता था लोगों से बात करने में। एंड अभी क्या रिसेंटली 5,000 लोगों का मैंने एक एड्रेस करा था, पब्लिक एड्रेस करा था, मुझे बिल्कुल भी ऐसा डर नहीं लगा। मेरे को वही लगा कि जब आप व्हेन वन इज नेचुरल देन द पर्सन इज एबल टू interact. अभी रिसेंटली आई वाज called by Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar ji for demonstrating the intuitive ability in front of ambassadors of different countries just couple of days back. Initially, I thought, Array, how would it happen? But then, when I know I can be natural about it, then it just happened flawlessly. Definitely, there are differences, just when it comes to age and the community, IS officers are very different from a child. Uh, but inside each one of them, I feel there is a child which is bubbling with energy. That is the common part. And once we're able to explore that aspect, we can be super young all the time. Sir, I hope I did answer your question.
Yeah, it must be a fun to deal with, youngsters below the age of 18, and then to deal with the senior most people who are like your grandfather, like that age group. Seeing that diversity, in the portfolio. So I said you have so many portfolios, one for handling your money, you have a portfolio, and one for handling your time, you have a portfolio of dealing with so many types of people. So that's, I think, all it is already 7, and people told me that you have to go early, but you said 5-10 minutes more you can give. So I thought, let me ask you a few questions which are more, from your real
My
life.
health is improved, sir, on this. I mean, during this conversation, I'm just feeling that.
Yeah. I believe that when you talk of these things, then the energy level goes up in the body and you feel better. So the intention was to make you feel better. So I think we can go for vote of thanks if there are no other questions. I hand over back to the organizers.
Yes, Tanvi. Tanvi, are you there?
Oh, she is not in a meeting right now, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kapil sir. Such a lovely session that we had today. Thank you so much for coming and accepting our invitation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your valuable time. And thank you so much for healing me for becoming a part of it. Thank you.